Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am coming to you straight away barefaced because I don't know. I feel like my intros are a little bit redundant. Do we need an intro in front of every video? That's what I've been asking myself lately, and I just thought I could switch things up a little bit just to make it also a little bit quicker to get into the video a little bit faster. So as you saw in the title of today's video, I am going to be playing around with a lot of newly released makeup items. I feel like in the past weeks we have seen so many interesting releases in the makeup space, and I cannot wait to share with you guys what I've been using lately, what I was testing out. So a bunch of really exciting products. I actually do have some brands like Too Faced. I have Milk Makeup, Fenty Beauty, and also some Hourglass products and some other really cool, exciting things. So I would say let's just kick it off with the primer. So this is the Pure Canvas Blurring Primer by Laura Mercier. And this one retails for $46. I think the full size comes with 30 milliliters of product. Now, I got this one as a gift with a purchase that I made, not at Laura Mercier, but at a retailer. And this is, I would say, the mini size. This is the travel size. And this has 15 milliliters. Now, I'm not sure if you can purchase this and for how much it's retailing. I would have to look that up. But yeah, I got a little mini here. I have never tried out Laura Mercier until recently, and I've got to say this primer, oh my gosh, this primer is actually fantastic. And if you have watched my channel for any amount of time, you guys know how much I love this primer. This is my favorite primer in the world, and this really reminded me of the Hourglass Vanish primer. So I am going to be clipping back my hair because my hair is all over my face, and I'm going to be applying it first to one side of my face so you can see the immediate comparison here. So this comes out in a squeeze tube with a nozzle, and the texture is a little bit more creamier. I feel like the Vanish one has a little bit more of a body to it. This is a little bit more runny, and I don't know if I have used a little bit too much of product here, but I'm going to show you what this is doing. It feels like a really lightweight, soft, velvety cream on the skin. So you guys know I do adore a good blurring primer. I mean, I have a little bit more of like prominent pores right here, especially right there. And I just love something that is smoothing, blurring, and also a little bit mattifying. If anything, the Vanish one might be a little bit more mattifying, but just look at that. That has just blurred a lot of my pores. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it will give you that very smoothing effect, that very like beautiful smooth base. And I always feel like whenever I'm using this, my makeup applies with ease, like my foundation, everything that goes on top of this. And I feel like honestly, any skin type could use this. So let's put it on the other side as well. This takes a little bit of maybe like a minute or so to sink into the skin and to really give you that beautiful smoothing effect. And it's just so nice. It's not going to leave a tag, it's not sticky or any of that, but it's going to smooth out your entire complexion. And, it's not necessarily totally mattified. I feel like this one does a better job in giving you a little bit of like shine cancellation, but it just feels so good. My skin feels amazing. So yeah, this was such a nice surprise to me. So before we are moving on to the foundation, I wanted to put something on my lips. I wanted to prep my lips a little bit and also just show you the product that I recently picked up. And yeah, it's also a little bit newer. It's not brand new. I feel like these might have gotten released a couple of months ago. I'm not sure. But this is by Milk Makeup, and it's the Kush Sheer Hydrating Lip Oil. So whenever I'm doing my makeup, I actually like to apply something on my lips right before I'm putting on my foundation, just in order to also avoid, any transfer from the foundation to my lips. And also just to prep my lips in general. This comes in 6 shades. I actually do have the shade Chocolate Cake. So this is described as a chocolate brown with a cocoa flavor. Now this is very sheer. This is barely gonna give you any sort of like tint. Like this is almost translucent, to be honest. It's not necessarily like an innovative formula, but it's nice, you know, it's good. I'm not mad that I actually got this, but I will say the flavor, I mean, the shade that I got, it smells a little bit strange. It does not really smell or taste like any like gourmand, sophisticated sort of like chocolate taste. It's very sort of plain and very natural. They have like 6 shades in total, so there are 5 other sort of flavor profiles, and I don't know if you want to go with this one. I always tend to go with things that have a brown tint to them. I just love brown on my lips, but this is so sheer that it won't matter. I would say maybe if you're not into like a very natural cocoa flavor, check out the other flavors that they have. It's a little bit more of a thinner formula without being too thin. So it's not necessarily cushiony, but it's also not runny, because I really don't like that if a lip oil is too runny. This is somewhere in between. So I'm just going to apply it. But yeah, shiny, not sticky whatsoever. And yeah, but you can see this is completely translucent, really. It barely gives me any sort of like color tint, really not that much. So let's move on to the next product. And oh my gosh, this is the foundation that I wanted to share with you guys today. I have been wearing this foundation for the past weeks and I adore it. I never really had their original sort of foundation because this is a spin-off of their original formula. And I just thought, you know what? Let's just try it. I did pick up the Born This Way Soft Matte Foundation by Too Faced, and this one retails for $46. I have been absolutely impressed by this foundation. Like, this is exactly the type of foundation that I personally like. So this foundation does come in 30 shades in total. I did pick up the shade Seashell, and Seashell is described as a fair shade with rosy undertones. Now I have a neutral leaning cool undertone, and usually I'm a light or light to medium. This really is a light, and it's almost borderline a light to medium shade. So if you are usually a light or a light to medium, go with the fair shades. They are pulling a little bit deeper than normal foundation shade ranges in my experience. Now this is most definitely a summer shade for me. I could not pull this off in the middle of winter. I would be way too pale to pull this one off. So right now it is perfect. So I'm just going to tell you real quick what they are saying about this foundation. So they are saying this ultra high performance foundation smooths skin's appearance and helps control oil without dryness, for waterproof, sweat and humidity resistant wear. The lightweight color true formula delivers 24-hour coverage that seamlessly covers imperfections, revealing skin that appears naturally flawless. The buildable medium to full coverage formula masterfully diffuses the line between makeup and skin for soft matte coverage so undetectable they think you were born this way. I'm gonna go in with just one pump on one side of my face first so you can see. This is a really, really nice, cool undertone. I think they got the cool undertone right. This is definitely more of a pink undertone. Look at that texture. It's going to run down. It's a little bit creamy, but not over the top. It definitely is a little bit more runny and liquidy. This is gonna give me so much coverage. Like, the coverage is full on. Like, let me tell you that. And I feel like I've used too much product. So I'm gonna use this with a dampened sponge. That's the way I like to apply this. And it blends out so, 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 so nicely. Like, I really, really have been enjoying this foundation so, so much. But just look at that. You can definitely build this one up and achieve a fuller coverage if you desire to do so. On me, this is giving me such a beautiful medium to full coverage. And I just love the way that this blends out. I love the way that this feels on my skin. This is truly lightweight and it just looks so natural. Like, just look at that side by side. Wow, wow, wow. Also, the shade, definitely a summer shade for me. is really, really pretty though. It does match me quite well. Also, this foundation won't stay wet on your skin. This definitely has some self-setting properties to it, so it will dry down. Not immediately, it still stays flexible for a little bit, but this will dry down and it's not gonna look cake face. This just looks like a natural matte, and that's what I really do appreciate about this product. So let me actually do the other side as well. And then maybe I'm gonna build it up just a little bit more, but wow, I am so impressed. Every time I'm wearing this, I just love it. Like, I have nothing bad to say about this foundation whatsoever. And I'm so happy that I decided to give this one a go. This is such an amazing formula. I really like this. I love the finish. I love the coverage that this gave me. And just the way my skin is looking with this. Wow, I am so impressed. I honestly almost feel like I could wear this foundation without powdering it, although I will always powder my foundations. And plus, I do have their newly released powder in this video as well. But before we are moving on to the powder, I definitely do want to put a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes. All right, so let's move on to the concealer that I've been trying out for the past weeks. I'm a little bit more undecided about this product in particular. So this is by Danessa Myricks, and it's the Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer, and this retails for $30. I mean, so many people have been raving about this. Others did not like it as much. I'm kind of in between. I'm a little bit like, I don't know if this is going to be my favorite concealer of all time. I don't think so, to be honest. Comes in 20 shades, and this is where I have a little bit of an issue. So Danessa Myricks is a makeup artist, right? But she, for some whatever reason, always, always forgets people with a beige or a pink or a cool undertone. There are barely any options in her complexion products that do cater to people with more of like a pink undertone. So I had to go with a peach undertone, and unfortunately, this peach shade still pulls quite yellow on me. And I picked up the shade 5, which is described as a light with peach undertones. It is very thick. It's not that creamy. It almost has more of like a dry sort of texture to it. And whenever I applied this, whenever I swiped it underneath my eyes, oh my gosh, this was crease central on me, okay? So I have to dot it on. I have to go in with this sparingly because it just looked so unflattering underneath my eyes. It almost looked a little bit like cakey. Especially when I powdered it down, it just did not look amazing. So I'm gonna be very, very careful not to apply too much concealer, but also I do require a little bit of coverage underneath my eyes. When I have to go in sparingly with something, maybe it's just not gonna give me the coverage that I do require. So I'm gonna do this, do that, and do this. And can you see this peach undertone is really yellow. Like, she needs to work on her shade range, to be honest. It's not perfect. I'm just gonna blend it out. If I use less product here, it's going to look much better as if I would put on a lot of product. I mean, it's borderline too dry for me, which is surprising considering that she is promoting this as like some skincare infused concealer. Doesn't mean anything, you know? You always have to try it out on your own skin. It's just a little bit finicky because it's going to gather in my fine line right here. I'm gonna use just a little bit more right here because I feel like I need a little bit more coverage right here. Also, I feel like the coverage always looks so uneven with this concealer. I honestly don't think I'm a fan. The peach is okay. It does not bother me too much today because I have not used an excessive amount of this product. But whenever I did swipe this and I used a little bit more product, I could tell that the shade was just not matching with my foundation. So let's move on from the concealer. And I am actually going to put a little bit of an eye primer on my eyelids because I feel like my eyelids, they just clash with the rest of my face. So of course I am going to be using my Sigma eyeshadow base primer. I'm using the shade Persuade, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of this, blend it out with my finger, and then I'll be right back with some powder. All right, so my eye primer is applied. So before we are moving on to the setting powder, I almost forgot that I actually do want to use this beautiful bronzing stick by Too Faced today. Again, I've already showed you this product on my channel, but I feel like this is the newest bronzer that I have. I did not purchase a new bronzer, you guys, because I have so many bronzers as of right now, and I don't feel like that there were many bronzers that came out lately. Since I'm featuring some Too Faced products in this video, I thought, why not use this again? So this is a product that I would put on before I am applying any powder to my face. And I just need to remove these clips for a second here because I need to pull back my hair. So I'm always like putting this basically on my hand. This is so creamy. It is just, oh, it's melty, but it's such a nice shade. Such a beautiful sort of like neutral undertone. I love it. I work it a little bit into the brush and then I go onto my face. I usually start with my forehead here just to bronze it up a little bit. And I also feel like this in combination with the foundation works so well. I'm not the biggest fan of like cream bronzes. I have a lot more like powder bronzes in my collection, but this one I actually really enjoy using. I really do love it. Oh, by the way, it's the shade Chocolate Mousse. It's the lightest shade. So let's actually powder my face down and let's use the brand new powder that was also released by Too Faced. So this is the Born This Way Soft Blur Flexible Finish Setting Powder and this retails for $40. This packaging is so cute. It's so adorable, right? So this actually comes in 4 shades in total, I think, and I have the shade Light. I've been trying this out for a while now. Like you can't even see the Too Faced embossment anymore because I've been using this quite a lot. I really wanted to give this a good try. The formula is beautiful. This is such a pretty powder. I really like it. I think it's a little bit overpriced. Like retailing at $40, that's a lot of money, you guys. This only has 4.8 grams. That's not a lot of powder. So that's the only downside. This powder is very blurring. It's very creamy, very velvety to the touch. So let's put the powder on one side first and then let's compare both sides. Now do keep in mind that this foundation does not really require a lot of powdering because this is quite a self-setting product and I feel like my skin would look amazing without powder. When am I ever saying that? It's very rare that I say that. So, but nonetheless, let's set this. I feel like this concealer though needs some powder because it's running away. It's very blurring, very pore diffusing, very skin smoothing as well. I really like it. This will give you some coverage though. Like this is not like sheer. I feel like it will add a layer of coverage. I honestly did not expect that when I used the powder the very first time. It's so perfecting, isn't it? Like these Too Faced products for the complexion, I am so impressed by them. Look at that difference. Quite a difference, right? Especially around here, you can see my pores are gone. My pores are blurred. Everything is perfected. So let's do the rest of my face. Let's set everything. I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is a really stunning powder. And every time I have worn the Born This Way foundation, I paired it with this powder. And I felt like at the end of my day, my makeup still looked quite flawless, quite amazing. So this definitely does contribute to the success of this foundation. No questions asked. I'm really starting to feel like I want to try out more products by the brand. Thus far, I've been impressed. So before we are moving on to the rest of my complexion, let's actually focus on the eyebrows for a little bit because I do want to fill them in with a pencil, but I also did pick up a new gel for the eyebrows. I know, I'm kind of cheating on my Kosas Airbrow gel, the one that I love so much. Before we are moving on to this gel, let me actually fill in my brows and I'm just gonna use what I love because I don't really have a new brow pencil, right? So I'm just gonna use my Rare Beauty Brow Harmony pencil. This is my favorite pencil in the entire world. I absolutely adore it. So I'm just going to quickly fill them in with the pencil, and then we'll be back with this new eyebrow gel. So let's continue with this new eyebrow gel that I wanted to show you guys. So this is by Milk Makeup, and it's the Kush High Roll Defining and Volumizing Brow Tint, and this retails for $22. I just wanted to try this for myself and see if I would like it. And let me just tell you straight away, I don't love it as much as my beloved Kosas Airbrow Gel. The Kosas Airbrow Gel is just my holy grail. This one, oh, this is very, very different. So this actually does come in 8 shades, and all of them are tinted shades, so there is no clear shade. The Kosas one also has a clear shade, and I decided to pick up the shade Herb, and that is described as a medium brown. This is very deep for a medium brown. That is very deep. This one that I use by Kosas is the shade Soft Brown. I don't love it if my eyebrows are looking very, very dark. I just don't like that. I was like so irritated at how pigmented this was and how deep it was. And also another thing, this brush. This brush, it is so gigantic. This is huge. I mean, for somebody who does not have like the biggest eyebrows and the fluffiest eyebrows in the world, this, I mean, I have to do it like that, right? It is just not as perfect as my Kosas one. The Kosas one, just in comparison here, it is much smaller. And I do prefer something that is a little bit smaller just because of my eyebrow shape. And also another thing is I never like brush my eyebrows upwards. I always brush them sideways. I'm gonna be using a mirror just to see myself a little bit more close up when I'm doing this. It's also a very wet formula. But yeah, let's apply it. But this will give you so much hold. It will, oh my gosh, it's a lot. It's very, very pigmented. I don't like this brush because this is a silicone brush. It does not have any fibers to the brush. Just look at that. That just deepened up my eyebrow by a shade. And I looked at the other shades, and there was no shade that gives you a light brown, like a soft brown. They are either auburn or they are like for blonde hair. So I don't like the shade. But also the formula, I mean, it is, oh my gosh, this dries so quickly. I can't even do a second brush through. I have to stop now because this is just drying extremely quickly, but this will give you so much hold. Like this will give you much more hold than the Kosas one. I feel like my Kosas one is more of a medium hold. It looks very unnatural. This does not look as natural due to the shade. It's very pigmented. So I don't necessarily love that. I don't. But let's do it on the other side as well. And let's ignore my eyebrows for the rest of the video because this is thick and it's a lot. It's not necessarily my style. Let's put it that way. I like the fact that it's holding my eyebrows in place. I really do appreciate that. But there's a lot of things I don't appreciate, especially the outcome. So let's move on, and let's move on to some color complexion products here. I only have one new blush. I don't really have a new bronzer. I don't have a new highlighter. So I would say let's actually apply a little bit of a powder bronzer, maybe by the same brand than the new blush that I picked up. So the blush that I actually picked up is the new Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush, and this retails for $36. So here is the blush, and I'm just going to go in with one of my favorite of all time bronzers, and this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Diffused Bronze Light. I freaking adore this powder. So I'm gonna just quickly apply a little bit of this, just a little bit of bronzer. I mean, we already have put on the Too Faced bronzer. I just want to slightly enhance that one. And I just love the undertone of this bronzer so much. It's so perfect. Let's actually move on to this brand new blush that I picked up. And man, I have been trying this out for a while now, and I definitely have my thoughts on this together. I feel like liquid blushes are really in trend right now. So I wanted to try this out. Okay, it's Hourglass. I love Hourglass. Like, they're one of my favorite brands, really, when it comes to like luxury makeup. I just love them. So this product does come in 7 different shades, and in the beginning, I did not know which shade I should pick up. So I decided to pick up the shade Scene, and it's described as a soft, warm pink. It's not quite as pigmented as the Rare Beauty blushes, but it's close. I'm just gonna use one drop in the beginning. Just we're gonna start off with one drop. So yeah, I'm going to be working a little bit of my first drop into the brush. It's like really pretty though. It's gonna give you like an airbrushed sort of like natural finish. It's really stunning. It does not have a ton of opacity, so it's a real sort of like serum product. This is gonna look so natural. It's actually very, very pretty. I like the shade. It's not like the most innovative shade that you could get, but I like it on my skin tone. I really do think this is stunning. Very, very stunning formula. And you just need one drop. So this little packaging is going to last you for a really long time, you know. But it's pricey nonetheless. I feel like it's yeah, I mean, it's Hourglass. Hourglass is known to be quite pricey, but usually very high quality products. And then I'm also going to take it on my forehead just a little bit to just unify all of that. It looks like almost like water paint or something. It just melts into your skin and it just looks like your skin. It looks super natural. I also will say this is quite a long lasting liquid blush. And I definitely do appreciate that. Let me know if you've tried this one out and what are your thoughts, because I really have been enjoying it. It's really, really good. I'm not going to be applying my highlighter immediately. I'm going to be applying my highlighter after I have done my eyes and before I'm going to move on to the lips. So I'm going to do that in between those steps. So let's actually move on to the eyes. And of course, I did purchase a new eyeshadow palette. Are you guys surprised? I don't think so. And this one, immediately when I saw this, I was like, oh no, I can't wait for this. This is stunning. And this is by an indie brand that I truly, truly adore. So this is the new Glaminatrix Barely Basic eyeshadow palette, and this retails for $60. So Glaminatrix is an Australian indie brand. I have featured them multiple times on my channel already. Now, honestly, I have not tried this palette out yet. So this is going to be a first impressions on camera with you. When I saw the color story inside, I was immediately like, oh yeah, I want this. I definitely do. And I want to play around with this. So let's have a look inside. So I really do love the layout of this eyeshadow palette. I feel like it's very easy to navigate this palette. This is laid out in columns. The top rows are the shimmer shades, and then the bottom rows are the matte shades. This almost reminds me of a neutral sort of like fall vibe palette. I am not ready for fall yet, but you know, nonetheless, this is super, super stunning. So this actually does come with 20 shades in total. So it does include 4 sparkly iridescent duochrome toppers, 4 intense metallics, and 12 smooth pigmented mattes. I mean, this is the best example of a more neutral leaning palette that definitely is not boring. And I think they've done an amazing job in creating this color story, and I cannot wait. So I'm just gonna have a look at what I really want to do. I'm gonna go in with this shade first. This shade right here, Leggings. I'm gonna use this one. And I'm gonna put it all over my crease, and I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 202 brush. And also, guys, I completely forgot to mention this, but I have a new code with BK Beauty. So if you do want to have like 15% off of these amazing brushes that I'm constantly using, I mean, I have a lot of brushes, but BK Beauty, one of my favorite brands when it comes to high quality brushes. So I'm going to be putting that in my description down below in case you're interested in some really, really good eye brushes. But yeah, let's start off with the shade Leggings all over my crease. A little bit of kickback in the pan. So let's see. Usually Glaminatrix has quite like pigmented mattes. And I just want to see how this is. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Ooh, this is almost like a mauvey taupey shade. Ooh, I like it. I already love this shade. So this one is really like a very light, almost dusty taupey mauvey shade. And to be honest, this is not as pigmented as I remember their other palettes to be. Maybe it's because this is more of like a basic, sort of like barely basic palette, like more of an everyday sort of friendly palette. So they kind of maybe reduced the pigmentation level. I'm not sure. It's also just the lightest shade, so but it definitely does blend out like a dream. I'm gonna go into the shade Like, this one right here, and I'm gonna just place it towards the outer corner of my eye and then just slowly blend it in. This is such a pretty shade. I do adore these sort of muted, dusty, mauvey shades so much, but I'm just gonna go back into the shade Leggings, and I am just using this shade just a little bit to blend out around the edges. All right, so next step. I actually don't want to use this deep berry shade. You know, I don't want to just simply use this row. I'm gonna switch it up and I'm gonna go into this shade right here. This is the shade Looks, and just deepen up the outer corner of my upper lids and then just blend it in a little bit with the shade that we just used, the shade Like. Okay, that's enough. And then I'm going to use this brush. I'm just going to blend it out. I'm going to go into this one right here, and I'm just going to put it in my sort of like inner corner just to brighten that up. Okay, so I'm going to be applying something in my waterline. I'm going to use an eyeliner, and I think I'm just going to go with my Make Beauty Continuum Waterproof Gel Eyeliner. I have this in the shade Nebula. So my eyeliner is applied in my waterline. I really like this eyeliner. So for the lower part, I am so tempted to go into the shade Holy Grail. And by the way, I feel like all of the names in the palette are inspired by things that influencers would say. I mean, share, subscribe, comment, like this entire row. So let's move on. And I think I'm going to go into the shade Holy Grail. I'm going to put that on my lower lash line and then I'm going to deepen it up at the outer corners. I'm going to use this shade right here, the shade Looks again. And let's see what this is going to look like. This is a very pretty deep sort of berry shade without being too flashy, which I definitely do appreciate. So now I'm going to go into the shade Looks just to deepen it up on the outer corners of my lower lash line. So the next step, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cleaning up my edges, and then I'm going to apply a little bit of a glitter glue because I do know that Glaminatrix has very sparkly, beautiful shimmer shades, but I also don't want any fallout. So I'm just going to be using my beloved NYX glitter primer. I really like this one. And yeah, I'll be back in a second. Okay, you guys, after looking at this for a while, I'm going to go into the shade Hashtag now. And then I'm going to use one of these iridescent shimmer shades in the inner portion of my lids. So let's use this shade right here. I'm going to go in with my fingers. I've also just applied my glitter glue, right? And then I'm going to blend it out with a brush. Wow, that looks incredible. That looks so beautiful. Glaminatrix has one of my favorite shimmer formulas. These are just going to look so stunning on the eye. I'm so excited. So let's go. Ooh, oof, 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 you guys, this is so beautiful. Oh, the shade is, it's incredible. The amount of sparkle combined with this almost like wet looking metallic sort of finished base. I really love it. It's so pretty. It's very beautiful. So I'm gonna go in with the shade FYP. This one right here. I'm gonna use this and see if that's gonna look nice in my inner corner. And I'm also gonna bring it down to my lower lash line. So I'm going to use this very small brush here. This is a BK Beauty 208 brush. I'm just going to use this and get a little bit of this shade onto that brush and then just put it right here. I mean, this formula is amazing. I really do like the look. Absolutely smashing, 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 smashing. But I also want to highlight my brow bone slightly, and I think I'm gonna use this highlighter. It's a little bit newer. This is by Fenty Beauty, and it's the Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighter. I've got this in the shade Too Much, and I think I could use this a little bit on my brow bone. So I'm just gonna dip in there. This is a really stunning highlighter. I'm also gonna be applying this to the rest of my face. This is just gonna give you that wet, like sort of glow. But I want to apply this Fenty Beauty highlighter a little bit more onto my face, and I don't really need much product. Just gonna go onto the tip of my nose and right on my cupid's bow and also right here high points of my cheeks. So let's move on to a new lash color that I was actually sent to by Sweet Beauty, and I am so happy that they have been sending me some PR recently. Not really PR, but they have just sent me some gifts, and I'm so grateful because I do adore that brand. I have been loving their mascara, and although we are not going to be applying this one today, just know this is my favorite mascara of all time. The Cloud Mascara by Sweet Beauty, amazing, but they have been sending me a new release and it's a new lash curler. So I wanted to show you the lash curler and then we are going to be moving on with a different mascara. So this is by Sweet Beauty and it is their eyelash curler. This retails for $24. So here is the eyelash curler. I will say it is quite large. It's quite wide, which I do appreciate because sometimes eyelash curlers can definitely be a little bit too small and then they just don't grasp every like lash that there is. And I don't like that. So when I saw the size of this, I was pleasantly surprised. So I would say I'm going to curl my lashes and then we'll move on. Oof, I mean, they are definitely lifted. Just look at that. Wow. That's crazy. So let's do the other side as well. I mean, my eyelashes are so lifted. This is amazing, you guys. I really have been enjoying this one. So thank you to Sweet Beauty for sending this my way. I really do appreciate it because I was in dire need of a new eyelash curler because I had my old curler for so long. It was almost falling apart. So let's move on to the mascara that I picked up. This is also a newer release. So this is by Milk Makeup and it's the Kush High Roll Tubing Mascara and this retails for $28. So the very first time that Milk Makeup has come out with a tubing mascara. And in the past, I have not been a big fan of their mascaras, but I've been trying this one out for a couple of times now, and I've got to say this is really good. It has like a cone-shaped sort of silicone brush, which I think those are the best ones. And the formula is really nice. This definitely does a great job in tubing. It comes off with hot water. You just have to like wet your fingertips a little bit with hot water and then just gently rub your lashes in between your fingers. It literally comes off in these little strings and it's a very satisfying experience to remove a tubing mascara if it removes well. It is a little bit more of a wet formula, and if you have never used a tubing mascara before, just know these mascaras will kind of coat your lashes immediately. So I'm going to apply it to one eye first and show you the difference. I mean, look at that. That is incredible. The only piece of advice I would give you with a tubing mascara would be to blink into the mascara while you are applying it. Like do a little bit of a blinking motion. So I'm going to do the other side as well. All right, you guys. So my mascara is applied. I always feel like though that this side turns out a little bit better than this side for some weird reason. I think it's just my lashes, to be honest, but I really like this mascara. It is definitely though a tubing formula. So just be mindful not to over apply this. And I'm always running the risk of doing that. So If I'm in the mood, I will definitely grab this, but it's not like my everyday favorite go-to mascara. Nonetheless, it's not a bad one. I think this is their best mascara that Milk has ever come out with. Let's put something on my lips. And I actually do have some new products by Fenty Beauty. Maybe let's start off with this lip liner that Fenty Beauty has recently come out with. So this one is the Traced Out Lip Liner and it retails for $20. Oh my gosh, when these were released, I immediately wanted to get one of them and I wanted the shade Peanut Butter and it was completely gone. This actually does come in 10 different shades and I have the shade 06 Extra Thigh, and it's described as a cool brown. It's not like the coolest brown ever. I think this is more of a neutral brown, to be honest with you. This lip liner is creamy at first, and then it's going to dry down, and it's going to be very, very long lasting. This is pigmented, and this will dry down quite quickly. I should really not apply this with a lot of pressure, and I need to get my lip brush ready immediately. So I'm gonna apply this. This is pretty. It's pretty. It's a very pretty brown. I think it's a cool brown. To me, this is more of a neutral brown, really. It's not like over the top cool, but I think it's a pretty lip liner. So let's move on to the next product. And I mean, I was really excited that Fenty was releasing some lip products because I also never had any lip products by Fenty. So this was a first one for me. So this one is the Gloss Bomb Sticks High Shine Gloss Stick, and this retails for $25. And this comes with 11 shades, and I picked up such a stunning shade, you guys. I picked up the shade Spice Cold 08, and it's described as a pinky brown. This is so stunning. I really like the packaging. Packaging, really, really cool. And this smells so divine. Oh, this smells like strawberry candy. So, so nice. Also, this formula really reminds me of my Nabla jelly lipsticks. Like, this is almost the same thing. The only difference in between those is the fact that the Nabla ones are a little bit more cushiony, a little bit thicker. The only shortcoming that this product has is its longevity. It's not very long lasting on my lips. I have to multiple times like reapply this product because after like 2 hours, this just disappears. So if you are going somewhere and you want to rely on this product, just keep in mind that you might have to reapply this multiple times. So I'm going to apply this now, and the shade is absolutely beautiful. It's very stunning. This is so shiny. It is such a pretty, pretty shade. Oh, I love this. I really like the shade. I love the finish. It is so nice. It's a little bit deeper than what I usually go for. So yeah, I really like it. I feel like these two releases are quite nice. I really like the overall look of this makeup. I've got to say, all of these products, fantastic. The only product in today's video that I'm not 100% sure about, and maybe there are two products. The concealer, the eyebrow gel, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my eyebrows are still massive, and although I kind of got used to them right now, I cannot wait to use my Kosas eyebrow gel again. So yeah, these two products, I don't know. The rest of the products that I've applied, I absolutely adore them. So yeah, please do let me know if you have tried out any of these products. Are you interested in any of them? Would you want to pick any of them up? Please don't forget to check out my description box down below in case you want to know more about a certain product. I'm going to be linking them all in there. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming videos. And until next time, please do take care. Thank you so much for watching.